Hi, this is Lewis with a quick video forecast with regard to tomorrow's possible snow event for all parts of the region, the Yorkshire Lincolnshire thread. I've got the current NMM 12Z charts in front of me now, and as you can see on the left we've got the precipitation and sea level pressure chart, and on the right hand side of your screens we've got the NMM UK precipitation type. Currently at 15.0, which is default from the 12.0 run, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flick through and basically show you the areas that I think is more likely to see precipitation falling as snow rather than rain and freezing rain tomorrow. I'm just going to go onto the precipitation rate chart on the left hand side here, and I'm just going to run through. Basically what's happening is we've got high pressure to the east, we'll call it air, and we've got a low pressure system, well a front, a system, weather system heading across Scotland this evening and heading south-southeastwards. What's going to happen is as it heads southeastwards you get the colder air starting to move back in from the east. As you can see across western parts of Yorkshire, majority of northern parts of Wales, northwest England and northern England, it's going to be falling as freezing rain. Now at the moment there's still uncertainty as to whether it'll fall as snow for these areas, but it's more likely that it will be freezing rain at the moment. What you get with freezing rain is you get the precipitation, which is obviously rain falling as snow above the 0 degree level, and then you get warm air underneath with a boundary of colder air trapped towards the surface. Normally occurs with what you call a frontal slope, so basically it has that as the snow falls above the 0 degree isotherm, and then it drops into another boundary of warmer air, and then it comes down to the boundary of separating the middle, what I'd call the middle boundary between the surface where the colder air is locked, it readily turns to ice basically, and it'll fall as freezing rain or what you call ice pellets. I'm just going to flick through real quickly. Then we can see here on the right hand side by 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon it's showing snow, precipitation falling as snow for eastern parts of Yorkshire, northern parts of Lincolnshire and some parts of southern Yorkshire, and also northern parts of Yorkshire as well. But continue to flick through, you can see as it becomes more progressive that the snow, that the precipitation turns to snow basically. So what you'll find is as we head into the afternoon, areas that may see a wintry mix, current areas shown on this chart here, if it starts out as a wintry mix, it means that it'll turn increasingly wintry and more readily to snow as we go through the afternoon, because what happens is the cold air starts to come back westwards from the east. Now there's a lot of uncertainty to how heavy and organised the precipitation is going to be. At the moment it's the NMM model, which is the highest resolution. I currently use the Net Weather Extras for £10 a month. It's fantastic, I get all the radar etc, and to be honest it's such a powerful tool. Freely available is a NAE model. Now this particular NAE model has been showing a lot of snow for a majority of our region basically. Now personally I'm going with the NMM model, what's on your screens now. The reason being is because during last Saturday when we had that snow event, the NAE was producing, basically showing a lot more precipitation. I think it was showing as much as 24 to 25, maybe 30 millimetres of rainfall or snow over a course of about 9-10 hours. It was also showing the band stalling across central parts of Yorkshire right through to East Yorkshire and just south of the Wash as well as it headed southeastwards. But as we all know, the precipitation was a lot patchier in nature, and a majority of parts across Yorkshire did have a good 4 to 5 inches of snow, but some areas that was in the patchier bit of the precipitation where it was a lot less intense maybe had 1 or 2 centimetres of snow. So there was quite a big difference really, given the fact that the NAE was trying to output a large area of precipitation stalling for a vast majority of our region. So for that alone, that's why I'm going with the NMM model. There's less room for error, margin for error basically on the NMM, because at the moment, at the time of the precipitation and also the timing of when the upper 850s, basically the cold air is going to move back in from the east and come westwards, it doesn't give us much margin for error. So basically, if for example everything was to move back westwards, we'd maybe get the colder air from the east in much quicker and across more parts of the region, but then you'd find that the precipitation would be more patchy on its eastern edge because of pressure being higher naturally, and then obviously it's going to get shunted back westwards and then fizzle out. But that's where the uncertainty remains at the moment. Basically, how this front is going to react as it hits the colder air. Is it going to be a snow? Is it going to be a sleet? Is it going to be a freezing rain? To be honest, it's going to be a mixed bag. I mean, as you can see on this right hand side chart now, the precipitation chart, you can see freezing rain for central northern England, for much of western Yorkshire, South Yorkshire, and then going down across into the West Midlands. As I flick through, and we're at 5 o'clock there, you can see how the precipitation heads southwards, southeastwards, and it shows a mixture of freezing rain and snow for parts of East Yorkshire, West Yorkshire, and to South Yorkshire. To be honest, it's going to come down to basically how far east you are and how far south you are, if you know what I'm trying to say. The best areas at the moment for any snowfall, even though it's very marginal out there tomorrow, is East Yorkshire, North Eastern Lincolnshire, northern parts of Lincolnshire, and then as we head further south into southern parts of Lincolnshire, into the East Midlands, East Anglia, and then later on possibly the South East. But the precipitation is going to be a lot patchier, and it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest, if by tomorrow the precipitation as it heads southeastwards literally fizzles out on its southeastern flank as it pushes southeastwards, and it wouldn't surprise me, to be honest, if East Anglia and the central parts of southern England and southeastern England ends up with hardly any precipitation at all, because the main energy seems to be across the northwest and into the West Midlands and into northern Wales as it starts to move away. It only goes through to midnight tomorrow at the moment, the current 12Z NMM chart, model run. I may do a quick update text format on the Yorkshire Lincolnshire thread later, if anything changes on the 18.0 run. 18.0 rolls out at 9:30, and it's not until about 10:30, 20 past 10, the NMM model is updated to the latest model set, which will be obviously the 18.0. I'm just going to have a look at a few other conditions that a lot of you will probably want to know regarding tomorrow's possible event. We're just going to look at the temperature at the time of the precipitation. So if I just click onto the precipitation rate and then I go onto the temperatures, as I flick through, you're looking at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. You've got a majority of sub-zero temperatures across the region. The precipitation hits around about 10 AM tomorrow, with the heaviest precipitation moving in just after 11 o'clock, around o'clock, dinner time, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. As you can see, the precipitation seems to be more patchy on its eastern flank, but I reckon, to be honest, with the North Sea being as warm as it is, and also the positioning of the front, and maybe some energy out there, I reckon that, to be honest, it boils down to saturation at the end of the day. For example, if you look on the right hand side chart and look to the left where the precipitation is the heaviest over the western parts, over northwestern England, etc., you could have that precipitation over you with, I'd say, -2 degree temperatures and -6 dew point, right? You might get 2 or 3 centimetres of snow, 3 centimetres of snow. If you look on the right, just out into the North Sea, you've got lighter precipitation, but if you've got a temperature of 1 degree and a dew of 0, your saturation level is a lot greater, so you'll find that lighter precipitation will give more in terms of snowfall. And I noticed that the Eye in the Sky was posting on the main thread earlier, and he was trying to explain that despite models showing 18, 19, 20 millimetres of precipitation, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get 18, 19, 20 centimetres of snowfall, because it all depends, like obviously saturation, etc., moisture level, it all depends on that basically. But I'm rambling on once again. Every time I do that, I've got to move on to something else. So let's just finish off with the UK temperatures at the moment. You can see that it's 0 to 1 degree county-wide across our region. If I flick through, you can see the precipitation's heavier once again across eastern areas. It starts to become more organised as it moves in off the North Sea. Temperatures once again 0 to 1 degrees. So that's not a problem. Temperatures never was and never will be a problem. The next one to look at is obviously the thickness. The thickness in all isn't very supportive at all. You want a sub 5 to 8 dam basically at 500 to 1000 HPA. It's not entirely supportive. Really, I'd go to 532, 534 for snowfall, but in this situation, it can come off. I won't worry about that so much at the moment. 0 degree isotherm, you've got a 0 degree isotherm, which basically is it's at what level 0 degrees is basically. So we've got 100 metres across much of the region, so that's fine. Even in lighter precipitation, you'll find that that'll fall as snow, because obviously you've got although it'll be obviously a warmer front, you've got 0 degree isotherm up to about 100 metres. So, and you've got a lot of surface cold. So at the moment, any areas that will see that are okay for snow, they should see snow falling straight to the ground. Basically, that's what it basically means. If you had a 0 degree isotherm of say 700, 800 meters, and it was light precipitation, it must probably be sleet or rain, because it's by the time it's got from up there and it's got to our level, it's melted basically. So that's what the 0 degree isotherm means. I'm just going to have a look at the dew points now. Dew points are fine. I looked at these a little bit earlier, and to be honest, I was worried when I saw the low res GFS output. I also was waiting for the NMM to update, and I was thinking to myself, oh, come the NMM model and higher res, it's going to be a bit patchy and a bit marginal for a lot of places. But to be honest, at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, it's showing 0 to about 0 degrees basically. Could be a little bit colder as well, lower. So that's fine. Dew points are completely fine. What it boils down to is what it wants to fall as. Does it want to fall a rain, freezing rain, sleet or snow? Now this will give you a good idea. As I just edge backwards on the time frames, you can see here this is the upper 850 chart, the sea level pressure chart as well. You've got -5, then obviously -7s out into the North Sea. As we come back westwards across eastern parts of the region, you've generally got -1 to -2. Now, even zero on the 850s will be fine. That could support snowfall. That's not a problem. Obviously, you want it below 0. So -1 to -2, yeah, it can snow. So it's supported once again. It's going to be an absolute pain to forecast tomorrow. It's going to come down to nowcasting. I'll be totally honest. As much as I want to say yes, it's going to snow for eastern parts of Yorkshire, North Yorkshire, and Lincolnshire tomorrow, and some parts of southern Yorkshire later on into the afternoon and into the evening, because what's happening is the cold air from the east is going to push back westwards, you see, and undercut the warmer air. So it's going to just be down to nowcasting. It's going to be waking up tomorrow, looking at the band of precipitation, tracking it, seeing how it keeps its intensity, where it's heading, keeping on your temperatures, your dew points, etc. And the best thing to really do is just go on other people's threads in the regionals and just see what it's falling as further north. And if you, for example, get it falling as rain in Newcastle, and then someone south in Middlesbrough or something says, oh, it's starting to turn to snow, well, then you know that it's looking good, don't you? So, but yeah, it's going to be one of these tomorrow where I think the BBC, the Met Office, are totally unsure. I've just seen the latest net weather alert, and I think Paul issued that one, and it states basically warnings will be suppressed by flash warnings tomorrow. So there's a lot of uncertainty. But if I had to put my money on it, I'd say favourable areas at the moment would be northeastern parts of Lincolnshire, and a majority of Lincolnshire. East Yorkshire, I'd say, yeah, you'll probably see some snow. But then again, how heavy and if it'll settle, etc., is another question. It's just a case of watching your temperatures. Regardless of whatever the weather is going to do tomorrow, there's going to be some tricky driving conditions tomorrow, particularly for western parts of Yorkshire, North Yorkshire, where heavy precipitation will be. The rush hour should be fine, because I can't see the precipitation just starting to hit until around 7 or 8 in the morning. It's not until probably, let's say, after 9 o'clock until the heavy precipitation starts to fall. So set off early is your best bet if you've got to go anywhere, travel tomorrow. It's going to be pretty bad on the road, especially with sub-zero temperatures, and obviously in parts, if it's not falling as snow and it's falling as sleet and rain, it's going to hit the surface and just freeze, so there'll be a lot of black ice about tomorrow. But anyhow, I'll do an update on a text update on the Yorkshire Lincolnshire thread later on the 18.0, but I can't see much in the way of change now. It's just a case of keeping an eye on the high resolution models such as the NA and the NMM, and also keeping an eye on your temperatures, dew points, etc. tomorrow, and also obviously the band of precipitation. I hope you enjoyed my forecast. I don't know if my voice sounds a little bit better now because I've got my old headset. I found it. So, but anyhow, thank you very much. Good evening. Bye.